the other day, Ken Rosenthal wrote this great article on foxsports.com about whether or not the Jays should re-sign Jose Bautista and how ownership can act sometimes. The story sort of blew up. He was on MLB talking about it as well. Anyways, I figured you guys would love to see the audio and the video, so here it is. Hope you enjoy it.
The better question is, will the Jays keep him?
I agree.
And I would be surprised if they kept him. It's the age thing. He's going to be 36. And listen, I know what he's meant to the team here, to the town, obviously, and the playoffs last year will never be forgotten. But these teams now, they remove all that emotion from the equation, usually to the betterment of the organization, but not always. And that's why I just think he's a proud guy. And he's not going to want to sign for a discount. He's going to want his money, understandably so. And I don't see this management, not just ownership, but the front office, giving it to him.
Arden, you were making a strong case the other day in favor of potentially keeping Bautista around.
Do you want to give your take before I steal the show? Before I bring the house down?
Okay, that's a good point. I think... I guess what I would say on Bautista is, I think you make a very good point in saying that he's been such a good player, and he's someone that really could maintain this production into his late 30s. And so if that's possible, you want to keep him around. So I think there's a dollar value that you're going to put on that, and at some point, he's someone that you want to keep and that you're going to offer 4-5 years to. But you're not going to get a discount, in my opinion, when he's 10 months from free agency. And so if the price is, let's say for argument's sake, it's $24 million times 5 years, and I think that might be a fair middle ground, I'm not convinced that that's the best way for the Blue Jays to spend their money unless they're going to raise payroll significantly. And it's the same kind of reasoning I was using around the time that the David Price talks were coming up. I think if you can raise payroll to $180 million, go for it. Keep him around. You can absorb that kind of risk. Otherwise, I think you have to be pretty careful, and I'm not convinced that it would be the best move if he's over $100 million.
So there's a rational and reasonable side of me that says Jose Bautista is going to demand a lot of money. He's a very big players union guy. He's also a guy who's very involved in his own personal wealth, for lack of a better term. Like the Booster Juice franchises, the jeans deals, Marucci bats. That's no accident. It's a guy who's trying to maximize the money that he can make as a professional baseball player. A big players union guy who's going to try to maximize what he can get. He wants to go to free agency, and I truly believe that that's what he wants to do. I also truly believe that the Blue Jays, at this point in their time as a franchise, probably don't want to get involved in a long-term, really expensive contract with a power hitter in his late 30s. That really probably doesn't seem like the rational, reasonable move for the Blue Jays to do or to make right now. But there's also a part of me that says, ask Jose Bautista what he wants and give it to him.
If there was ever a player with a skill set that could last into his late 30s and potentially even early 40s, a guy who has a low amount of kilometers on his body because he didn't really play for the first 10 years of his career, a guy who takes care of his body, does a lot of yoga, and you can laugh, but you can ask any athlete in his late 30s, early 40s, what keeps them going? It's yoga, it's flexibility, it's that durability. A guy who this year played through a significant shoulder injury, remained productive, he had great numbers at the plates. A guy whose biggest skill and attribute as a baseball player is his plate vision and his discipline, his ability to recognize balls and strikes. When Jose Bautista says the pitch is a ball, it's a fucking ball. If there was ever a player that I believed in being productive as a hitter into his late 30s and early 40s, it's Jose Bautista. And if there's ever a player who should be on that level of excellence already, not just in the future, already, it's Jose Bautista. I guess you could say I'm conflicted. If you were ever going to pay a man, pay that man.
I will say this, and hearing the passion of you guys, and hearing Arden's passion,
Didn't even talk about what he does in the clubhouse.
Amazing.
You can ask Jesse Litch about that.
But
didn't even talk about it.
There's a disconnect right now in the sport, and it's troubling. And the disconnect is between what you just said, what these people feel as fans, and the way front offices operate. Front offices are bloodless. They don't want to hear any of this talk about what a great guy is. And no, they don't want to hear any of that. And you know what? I get it from a sheer economic standpoint, and the dollars are huge, so we can't blame them. At the same time, this is an unusual business, baseball. And the fans are ultimately who pay the bills, not just in the stadium, but on their cable television packages as well. And I would hope at some point, and I hope I'm not pandering here, but I sort of am. I would hope at some point the game comes
wasn't.
I hope the game comes back to a little bit of that. Because you know what? It's more than, oh my gosh, this is a great, efficient payroll. I could care less. Everybody's making money. People want to see their favorite players. They want to see this guy who made his career here be here. I can understand that.